So good morning. I really appreciate all of you being here this morning and seeing you and supporting me in this talk. Um, so last night, I really couldn't sleep. I'm in uh, I'm speaking actually from Brantford, Connecticut, which is we moved here from Pawling, New York. My last talk was in Pawling back in April. So this whole period for me has been one of great change and transition, and actually, a lot of it's been a difficult time, but my husband and I are settling in. So last night, I decided that having tried to write for a number of days and gone down different paths, I decided to scrap my talk, that I really hadn't found what I wanted to say. And so I'm going to, I've written a few notes this morning, and we'll just see where it goes. My heart chest is fluttering a bit. I definitely have a fear of speaking and being front and center. And it's one of the wonderful things about being having our practice and being a member of a wonderful sangha is that we get to do, we're given the opportunity to do a lot of things that are perhaps difficult. And in that, we have the opportunity to kind of learn and grow. So, about a week ago, week and a half ago, Tokyo Hoshi gave what he called a way-seeking talk. And I was very moved by his intimate and personal talk, and felt that I would kind of frame this talk in that way. It felt right to me. So coming into, one of the things that really resonated with me that he talked about was disassociating. And when I came into Zen, I did not know that I disassociated. And that, began in childhood, with feelings of not being safe, in my family. And I think I became deeply in that groove and didn't know that I was, as Tokyo didn't know. And it was in the Zendo one day where I too, all of a sudden, caught myself actually returning. And it was like, where did I go? I had no memory of having checked out, of having, in a way, blacked out, lost consciousness. So our practice has really given me just a wonderful opportunity to, in our zazen, to look at myself and study the self, and to change, change long-term habits. But to get back to kind of this entering Zen and way seeking, I came to Zen through Thich Nhat Hanh and the Plum Village Sangha. Um, and it was at a time in my life where everything changed. I was very ill. I had breast cancer. I was going through a lot of heavy duty treatment and also a number of surgeries. And I remember one day listening to a talk by, on a tape by Thich Nhat Hanh. And what he said was, um, there is more than just suffering. And it was such a wonderful thing for me to hear, um, because I could lie in bed, maybe not feeling so great, and could look out the window, right, and see birds and trees and, whatever was happening, listening to raindrops, falling. Um, it opened up the world in a much wider way, which is, what I think our practice does for us. Um, all the things that I've, the many ways in which I've turned away for many years. It started way, way back as a child. In Zazen, there's the opportunity to, what's going on? What is my annoyance? What is my anger? What is my shame? What is this feeling that's coming up? And to look and see and think about how we function and what doesn't serve anymore, to make a shift. Um, so in 2007, I came into the Village Zendo through a program that was offered them. Then it was the Buddhist Chaplaincy Training Program. And I can remember, after only a few times of walking through the door, that there was a day where I opened the door and I just was like drawn in, by the sounds, the smell of incense. It just felt so right for me. I felt like I was had come to the right place, and it was. I wouldn't have articulated it at this point, but I came, I think, to articulate it in myself as I had come to a place where I could heal. And Zazen and our Sangha um, was the right place, the right people, and the right family, and the and the practice that made sense to me. So in my in the first number of years at the Zendo, as I would sit, in a just regular period of practice during a Zezenkai on retreat, I spent period after period after period sobbing. When I almost came to hold an image at the time of holding this great big sack, of grief that I didn't know was there when I first came. And as I sat, all of the grief came up. I'm sure some people who knew me back there, sat through periods where I sobbed very loudly. But over time, I had the opportunity to kind of unpack that bag, and slowly, the grief, as I came to understand it and work with the issues, and of course, went into therapy as well. It just changed, it just changed. And um, the wonderful thing about, our Sangha is that, and hopefully we'll get back to this and it'll be easier when we're physically together. But there are these roles, these forms, and these roles that we take on. And it's like right now, the fact that I get to talk and do something that terrifies me. How great, if I do it enough. And that changes, and I have the opportunity to become a little bit more comfortable. Whether it's being jikido, whether it's um, being cheated, jisha, there are so many roles that are offered to us, all of us, um, to step into roles and to get comfortable with things that we're not comfortable with. So, I'm just a very grateful for our practice and for Sangha. One of the things so I think, I was really having trouble writing this talk because I kept going back to and trying to process my move to Brantford, Connecticut. I was really having a hard time. It was, during the real estate market, it was just so intense heading out in the insane real estate market has been for the last year, in which, there are just no houses and no rentals, very few available, and lots of us that were people that were scrapping for those spots. So when my husband and I we had rented a house, the house sold, and we started looking, and we put a bid on a house that we had probably seen for all of 15 minutes that I didn't like. And I was like hoping when we got the phone call, the next day from our realtor, that we would not have gotten it. I didn't want to move there. And she said, guess what? Your bid has been accepted. And I swear to God, it was like a gut punch. No, 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 not this house. I don't want to move there. There have been a lot of things about this house. I've been looking at it recently as what I'm attached to, right? What I think I deserve, what I think are my requirements for being happy. And so we got here, and the day after we moved was the day after Ida, right? Opening up the door, going into the basement, the flooding, no, no, no. And of course, I realize I'm very fortunate. I have food, I have a house, things are really okay. But that no resounded. I heard it very often, in the first couple of months here. And so I'm so thankful, right? At a time that was difficult, to be able to have our online Zendo, right? To have a good number of years of practice, under my belt, so that I could say, I hear the no. I hear not me. So, Jisei, what are you going to do about it? I guess I'll have to sit down, walking. We know walking, sitting, lying down, wherever you are, paying attention to what we think and what we hear inside, um, and knowing that we just have to take uh, each step, a step at a time. And the online Zendo was a godsend because I got to sit and feel the support of our Sangha, meet with teachers. I felt like I knew what to do. I didn't feel so great about myself, but we all know that we're perfect just as we are. And all of the ingredients that come up are what we have to work with, and the opportunity, right, to look and go, how am I going to, okay, open myself to where I am now and do my best. So that big no, not me, when I was considering that before I went to bed last night, or maybe it was this morning, I don't really remember, led me to case 2 in the Blue Cliff record. The ultimate path is without difficulty. So let me read. Chow Cho, teaching the assembly, said, the ultimate path is without difficulty. Just avoid picking and choosing. As soon as there are words spoken, this is picking and choosing. This is clarity. This old monk does not abide within clarity. Do you still preserve anything or not? At that time, a certain monk asked, since you do not abide within clarity, what do you preserve? Chow Cho replied, I don't know either. The monk said, since you don't know, teacher, why do you nevertheless say that you do not abide within clarity? Chow Cho said, it is enough to ask about the matter. Bow and withdraw. So there's a question here. Do we need to abide in clarity? Do we need to make sense of, kind of what's going on in our life? What is this preserving? Preserving kind of, hand tight, staying, wrapped tight around something that is causes and conditions, circumstances in our life. Chow Cho says, I don't know. And ultimately that he does not abide in clarity. And so that really speaks to me now of, my life. Can I just open? Can I just be open to where I am now and go step by step? Forget all my ideas, right? About who I am. Forget all of my ideas about this body and what I need, my requirements. Maybe it really boils down to just taking things step by step. What do you hear? What do you see? Being here now and just doing our best, being grounded and centered, and serving life as best we can, opening up, to the larger picture. I think of it as receiving our life. You know, what's coming forward? Let me meet that and do my best. Um, I had, let's see. So maybe what I'll end with is I'm wondering where something is, but my desk is a little bit of a mess right now with all my writing and that I haven't organized. So I'm going to end with the Sing Sing Ming by Sang San, which is, I'll just read a couple of, the first couple of paragraphs from this poem that was written. And it really is where the case number 2 came from, was taken from. No, avoid picking and choosing. So this is how it goes. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. Make the smallest distinction, however, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. If you wish to see the truth, then hold no opinions for or against anything. To set up what you like against what you dislike is the disease of the mind. When the deep meaning of things is not understood, the mind's essential peace is disturbed to no avail. The way is perfect like vast space, where nothing is lacking and nothing in excess. Indeed, it is due to our choosing to accept or reject that we do not see the true nature of things.